So I would like to start a video to give you guys an update on what's going to be due coming up this Saturday for project part 2. I'm going to bring up 2 documents. This is the boilerplate document that I put on the website that many of you may be using as your format, and then this document here is the one that I used in the example for my last videos. On the subject of videos, some of you may not be surprised at all to hear, because you have been getting the feedback that says that you may be having problems with your APA formatting. I recorded all of these videos and made them available, and the dirty little secret is YouTube tells me how many times my videos have been viewed, and Beacon Learning tells me who has clicked on the links to view my videos. So I know those of you that aren't viewing the videos and are struggling with using APA in Microsoft Word, and so again, I don't make these videos for my benefit, I make them for you, and if you would use them, it would probably benefit your grades as well. Some of you are also keenly aware that I am a stickler and that I grade with great detail, and if you miss on the APA requirements, that it shows in your grade. So watch these videos, that's what they're there for. So again, this document is the document that I created in the process of making those last videos that I was just describing, and I will use this document as an example of where we need to go in the second assignment. So in this document, I created an abstract, and again, for those of you that don't remember, I just added some nonsensical words. It's called lorem ipsum in here just to fill in the gaps. But essentially, I made an abstract there after my title page. Many of you, when you created project 1 and handed it in, you handed it in the form of abstract. That's perfectly acceptable. I didn't grade you down. In theory, you're supposed to write the abstract last. The abstract is supposed to be essentially a summary, an executive summary of the paper, and you can't hardly write an executive summary of the paper if the paper doesn't exist yet. But in either case, if you did the abstract already, that's okay. If you didn't, the part 2 instructions are enter in a abstract page. Again, this is just intended to be a placeholder for the abstract, and the intent is to make sure that you have the format correct for your abstract. So you would just, in your abstract, instead of having all this lorem in here, you would create the abstract and you would say abstract placeholder or something like that. And that way I can look at this and I can say, there we go. I can look at this and I can say, hey, look, you've got the wrong format in there. This is supposed to be flush left on the first paragraph, first line of the abstract, etc. So that's all that's required there. If you already filled in the abstract for the first project part, that's okay. The intention going forward is that the rest of your project is going to be in the body. So if you wrote the first paragraph in your body before and put it in the abstract, you're going to need to move it down to page 3. So the part 2 assignment essentially has those 2 things, is that you're going to create the abstract, or I guess 3 things. You're going to create the abstract page, and then you're going to write the outline. You're going to expand on what your proposal was in part 1 and write the outline. My verbiage in there is that you're going to write it in APA format. So that doesn't mean that you're going to do, the way you would have taught in junior high or high school, Roman numeral 1, introduction, Roman numeral 2, blah, 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 right? That's not what that is intended, and that's why in the syllabus what it says is essentially you're writing the outline. You're not writing an outline. You're outlining what you're going to talk about, but you're using APA headings to do it. So one note is that in the APA, you don't use the word introduction as a heading, because the assumption is that you always start out with an introduction. So as you see here, I start out with my inside title, and again, for those of you that are using the template that I gave you, they call that something else. What do they call that? Section title. So I call it inside title, they call it a section title. So, where was I going? Oh, yeah. So you're not going to have a section title or an inside title with the word introduction in it. But as you also recall from the rubric, the first step that you are going to be doing is introducing the concept of what you're going to be talking about, the company that you're covering, what it is about that company, etc. So you're going to have a brief introduction about, hey, I'm writing this cool paper, and then you're going to put in a first level heading, and it would say, welcome to my company overview, or something like that. Okay. Then second level headings, again, this is where that concept of like and outline came from. You know, you could put in company history here. And again, you don't have to have any content in here. I just want to see that you've thought out what you're going to write. So here I would say company present, and I'm going to make this present. There we go. And I'm going to make this a second level heading. So over here you can see in my navigation bar, let me show you where that is, view, navigation pane. You can see here I've got a first level heading, and here I have two second level headings underneath this. Remember basic outline requirements that you were taught in junior high. If you have a subheading, you have to have at least two. If you don't have at least two subheadings, oops, I can't highlight them both. There we go. If you don't have at least two, then you can't have any. So you could just have a major heading level 1. You can't have just one heading level 2. You have to have a minimum of 2 if you're going to do that. So there was my introduction. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about is summary of leadership. You know, I'm practically writing your papers for you. You should thank me. Heading, okay. The good, heading level 2. The bad, nobody better turn this into me because I'll know that you plagiarized it. And the ugly, okay. So boom. Then I go on to the third section, etc., etc. So this is all that you're going to be doing for adding to the body of your paper. You're going to show me, here is the outline that I have come up with about what I'm going to write about when I turn in the rough draft, part 3, in week 6. The third and final part of the project 2 that you're going to be working on is give me your list of references. Remember, I supplied you an how to use EBSCOhost to find references. You already proposed in week 1 what you were going to be writing about, so that means that you've had all this time since week 1 that you can go out and research and find references to put in here. So you're going to be giving me a blank, in theory, it's okay if it's not, a blank abstract page. You're going to add the outline to your previous document. So I've given you your previous document. You've corrected any of the feedback that I provided for you. Then you add this outline to that same document and add in down here at the bottom, all of the references that you're going to be using in your rough draft. That should give you everything that you need to do to have some success on this next paper. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.